I was born at Brackish Pond in Bermuda on a farm belonging to Mr. Charles Miners. My mother was a household slave, and my father, whose name was Prince, was a sawyer belonging to Mr. Trimmingham, a ship builder at Crow Lane. When I was an infant, old Mr. Miners died, and there was a division of the slaves and other property among the family. I was bought along with my mother by old Captain Darrell and given to his grandchild, little Miss Betsy Williams. Mrs. Williams was a kind-hearted, good woman, and she treated all her slaves well. She had only one daughter, Miss Betsy, who was about my own age. I was made quite a pet of by Miss Betsy and loved her very much. She used to lead me about by the hand and call me her little nigger. This was the happiest period of my life, for I was too young to understand rightly my condition as a slave, and too thoughtless and full of spirits to look forward to the days of toil and sorrow. My mother was a household slave in the same family. I was under her own care, and my little brothers and sisters were my playfellows and companions. The tasks given out to us children were light, and we used to play together with Miss Betsy with as much freedom almost as if she had been our sister. My master, however, was a very harsh, selfish man, and we always dreaded his return from sea. His wife was herself much afraid of him, and during his stay at home seldom dared to show her usual kindness to the slaves. He often left her in the most distressed circumstances to reside in other female society. My poor mistress bore his ill treatment with great patience, and all her slaves loved and pitied her. I was truly attached to her, and next to my own mother loved her better than any creature in the world. My obedience to her commands was cheerfully given. It sprung solely from the affection I felt for her, and not from fear of the power which the white people's law had given her over me. I had scarcely reached my 12th year when my mistress became too poor to keep so many of us at home, and she hired me out to a Mrs. Pruden. I cried bitterly at parting with my dear mistress and Miss Betsy, and when I kissed my mother and brothers and sisters, I thought my young heart would break, it pained me so. But there was no help, I was forced to go. Good Mrs. Williams comforted me by saying that I should still be near the home I was about to quit, and might come over and see her and my kindred whenever I could obtain leave of absence from Mrs. Pruden. A few hours after this, I was taken to a strange house and found myself among strange people. This separation seemed a sore trial to me then, but oh, it was light to the trials I have since endured. I knew that Mrs. Williams could no longer maintain me, and I tried to submit myself to the change. My new mistress was a passionate woman, but yet she did not treat me very unkindly. I do not remember her striking me but once, and that was for going to see Mrs. Williams when I heard she was sick and staying longer than she had given me to leave to do. All my employment at this time was nursing a sweet baby, little Master Daniel. Then Mrs. Williams died. I was told suddenly of her death, and my grief was so great that forgetting I had the baby in my arms, I ran away directly to my poor mistress's house, but reached it only in time to see the corpse carried out. Oh, that was a day of sorrow, a heavy day. All the slaves cried.